caught them by surprise. So, yeah, can you kind of tell us what went into your decision to step away from coaching right now?
Many of these early offers are what they call contingency offers, meaning the offer is contingent on certain things happening down the road, like a corner growing 1.5 inches.
Let's not undersell this thing. A lot of coaches use this as a recruitment tool. I've lost several players because of 7-on-7 things. And that's fine. Kids choose where they want to go, but at the same time, that wasn't the intent of doing 7-on-7.
I'll tell you, the band puts you in the mood for Friday nights, man. I heard some good bands lately, and that Trick Daddy just get you going. Anyway, we got 2 comments in the bucket. So, we got a new person here first. Zoom, we are here. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And there's my boy. We did the interview with him last week. Jadarius McCombs, running back from Mooresville, J-Man as he calls. Panther Blue. I don't have Panther Blue on. I got CFI Gray. Maybe in the intro. Yeah, you saw the intro. Yeah. We weren't live, but I had to represent for Cam Newton back then. That was back there in the spring. But anyway, Mr. Mitchell, good to see you, man. All right. We are now going to go to our interview. He is a talented freshman defensive end from Porter Ridge High School. His name is Makai Henriquez, and I'm glad to bring him on the show right now.
Hey, how's it doing? How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Makai?
Good.
Good, man. So we're excited to have you on here. You've been having a great season so far, especially as a freshman at 6'3", 195 pounds. But before we get started, Makai, you had a special shout out you wanted to give.
Yeah, I want to shout out, my teammates, my D-line brothers. We've been grinding out off season, coaches helping us get better, know what we're supposed to do in game. Yeah, I want to thank them.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have been doing some amazing stuff down at Porter Ridge. I saw you guys in the Jamboree up at J.M. Robinson, a month ago, which is crazy to say, but you've been doing a great job, man. You've been very impressive, coming off the defensive end and doing a lot of special things we'll talk about in a minute. But my first question to you is, what is it like having a major impact on an undefeated team so far?
It feels good, being able to do my job, know that I'm doing it well, and being able to collect wins over the season, just like giving our team more momentum. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And you've made game impacting plays. You had a pick 6 that was incredible. They were trying to run a wide receiver screen behind you, and you just peeled off, plucked it out of the air like you played receiver, and ran it back for a touchdown, man. Incredible stuff. But playing varsity as a freshman, what is the most exciting thing about that experience?
The most exciting thing is playing with my brothers on the D-line, playing under the lights, feeling the energy when you play, and it's just an amazing experience.
Absolutely, man. There's nothing like a brotherhood, especially in high school football. One of my old teammates, we call him the producer, Brandon Black, does this show with me, and we've been friends for over 20 years, and it started with high school football. So that's good stuff, man. In your opinion, what are some of the best things you do as a defensive end?
I believe I do my job the best, because in this defense, you really have to do your job to succeed. So I feel like I do my job the best, to help our team, win and keep our momentum going.
Yeah, I just highlighted you as one of our Pet Man players, which is basically a player of the week. And you had 3 sacks in your last game, which, that's not normal. How do you get back there so fast to sack the quarterback?
It was really we were practicing before the game, during the season, during the week with my coaches, and just practicing, getting better, sharpening my skills. And
Yeah, absolutely, man. My last question for you, man, is what are some things and activities you like to do outside of football?
Some activities I like to do is just, be outside, be active, socialize with my friends or family, play basketball with the friends. And yeah.
Very good. Normal teenager. That's all right, man. It was a pleasure talking with you before the show. I know you got, big time aspirations to play college football. You're off to a great start down at Porter Ridge, one of the best programs in the Charlotte metro area. We got let's see, Tyrone here. He says, "Yeah, now you got a fan already. Look at that. That's all right. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Mekhi, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Keep doing great things down at Porter Ridge, and you're gonna be a name that we talk about, for the next few years. I'm sure of that.
Thank you.
Absolutely appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Mekhi Henriquez, talented young defensive end down at Porter Ridge High School in Union County. As I said, starting out 6'3", 195 pounds as a freshman. Oh my goodness, he's got a bright future. All right, well, let's kind of shift gears and let's get the agenda on the screen for tonight's show. All right. All right, so this is what we got. We got the Dirty Dozen CMS Best of Last ranking updates, our mid-season county rankings review, where we kind of go back to the preseason and re-rank our area counties. We'll have a fact or fiction panel discussion, 2 burning questions about that tonight. Week 5 game previews, our game predictions, and it'll be slime time before you know it. So, on the show tonight, he is back after a 1-week hiatus. That is Coach Davis. What's up?
What's going on, Pep? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, Coach?
I can't complain. I can't call it.
Good. So, Coach, just so you guys know, you won't see this live tomorrow, but tomorrow we got something very exciting going on. Coach, I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to interview Deanna Ford, Trent Simpson's mother. Trent was, as you all know, standout at Mallard Creek and Clemson University, and now a start linebacker with the Baltimore Ravens. She's my niece, full disclosure, and we're going to talk to her about some of the things parenting-wise that she has done and things that have kind of led the way for Trent to not only be an upstanding and outstanding young man, but talk about his path to the NFL from, Little League football, midgets and peewees to Mallard Creek and to Clemson. We're going to talk about those things. And a lot of parents who are listening now, you're going to get a lot of good advice if you have kids who aspire to be professional athletes. You're going to get a lot of good advice from her. So, tune in. We're going to tape it, and it'll be broadcast on social media for everybody to see. So hope you all get a chance to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited about that opportunity. What we wanted, I wanted to record it because, when you have something like that, you want people to be able to, speak freely. Mm-hmm. And, we'll be able to take that and then put the best parts of that out. In social media in different, doses. I don't want to give you all just like 20 minutes.
and just know if somebody has a question tonight, put it in the comments and we'll jot it down. And any question you have for her, jot it down, put it in the comments. We'll jot it down and we'll try to get around to asking her tomorrow night.
Yeah. It'll be awesome stuff, man.
Be fun.
And Trenton's doing really, really good up in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's loving it, man. When you get to play beside Roquan Smith and learn from him every day in the locker room, in the film room, linebacker room meeting. It's great. And I think this year, 2 games, he's had like 7 tackles, a sack, broke up a big pass against Kansas City on that 3rd down they didn't convert in order to get the ball back. So Pat Mahomes, you heard him. I don't know if there's a sound clip. There's a sound clip I posted on my Facebook page where Patrick Mahomes told Roquan Smith, that was a great play by the young man. So he's loving it. But it all started, like I said, Malik Creek has a big part to do with that, and the coaches out there. So, of course, 88 or 90% is genetics. We ain't going to dispel that. But he did have some great coaches out at Malik Creek. He speaks highly of to this day, and teammates, of course.
Awesome, man. That'll be a lot of fun.
Good.
All right. Adam Big Eyes Shelby Weber is back on the show.
So what's going on, everyone?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just enjoying this bye week, trying to clear up some things with us, man. Working on us as individuals, as players and coaches, just trying to find ways to get better.
All right. Well said, man. Well said. The offensive coordinator at Walkertown High School, Coach Ian Tatum, is back.
What's going on, Pep? What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Coach Tatum?
What's up, Coach?
Hey, man, just taking it one day at a time. Also on a bye week, like Coach said, just trying to hone these fundamentals and get better on us and get ready for conference play next week.
All right, there it is.
Good.
And last but certainly not least is the producer, Brendan Black.
I'm here. Good to be here. I ain't on no bye week either. I'm here.
Hey, I did not know that. I just found out tonight that you and Brandon was teammates.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the interview.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, when I heard that, I never knew that.
Time flies, man. Time flies. It really does. Yeah.
Yep. We lost on Allegheny Street together, but it's all good.
Pretty much.
Oh, God.
All right, well, let's get into it. It's the New Dirty Dozen, sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl. Make sure, seniors, you sign up for the Queen City Senior Bowl. You must sign up to be considered. Okay, I say this every year, and somebody doesn't sign up, and then they ask, why wouldn't I pay? You got to sign up. It's free. It takes 30 seconds. You can do it. Your parent can do it. Your coach can do it. It can be anybody, as long as you have the information. Make sure you go to queencityseniorbowl.com and knock that out, guys. But in the rankings here, we do see some changes. So Weddington's still at 1, but Independence and Huff move up a spot. Mallard Creek moves up 2 spots. Providence State drops 3. West Charlotte drops 1. Those are your top 6. And then J.M. Robinson at 7. Monroe 8. Christian 9. Mooresville 10. Crest 11. And Ashbrook at 12. And then knocking on the door, we got the Red Raiders of South Point, Charlotte Catholic, Porter Ridge, who's undefeated, and Lake Norman, who had the big win over Marvin Ridge. Thoughts on the dozen this week? Which is done by me, if you don't know. Not by the guy, done by me. So bring all your hate to me. I'm used to it.
So did West Charlotte move down without playing?
Yes.
Interesting.
Ain't the first time. Hey, that ain't the first time he's done that. So it's all right.
Whoa.
It's just an observation. I wasn't saying it was right or wrong. I was just making sure I understood what I was seeing. That's all.
Now let me explain this, because it's not West Charlotte moving down. It's Mallard Creek moving up.
Oh.
Mallard Creek had the big win over Archbishop Moeller in Ohio. It's one of the best teams in Ohio. So they deserve, some credit for that. It's no slight against West Charlotte. You guys know we love West Charlotte. And matter of fact, I want to say, West Charlotte fans, you guys are amazingly passionate. There's almost 15,000 views on the highlights from Cotton Hill. And that's just on Facebook.
And they play each other this week, so I'm sure that's all.
Yeah,
that's all, man. You got 2 teams playing each other in the top 12 this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know Ashbrook's at Shelby, right? I think they're
Ashbrook. Ashbrook played Crest.
Crest, that's right. Good Lord.
Me and producer are going to Ashbrook and Crest. It'll be our first time ever going to Crest.
I'll be down there too, probably. Pep.
Never been all these years.
Where can we get some wings down there?
You stop
With
by
sauce.
the best group, Jerica Best.
Yep.
The best
J&L
group?
Lounge.
The Isaiah Best. Remember our quarterback Isaiah Best?
Yeah.
His mom has her own restaurant.
Man,
Now,
it's so good.
Now you gotta get there at a certain time. Well, I don't know if she's gonna go to the Shelby game or not, but you gotta make sure you get there at a certain time. She'll get you right with the chicken wings and hot dog.
Yep. I tell you what, I've been twice, man. My go-to was pork chops, mac and cheese, and the collard greens. That was my go-to there.
I'll be laid out in the car.
Matter of fact, if you want to go, I can let her know you coming.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matter of fact, we can meet there. Me, you, and producer. We can meet
All
there,
right.
man.
Oh, well, okay. We're doing the show. Sorry, guys.
Well, a high-profile client is coming through.
Oh man.
Well, what I'm glad to see, Pep, you didn't go by name recognition based on history, because no more Butler. Don't want to see them. I don't even know if they can win enough games to get back on the ranking.
Well, yeah, Butler's not in this one, but they'll be on the next screen. But that's all the schools, CMS.
Yeah. How do you think it'll affect Providence Day with Big Boy going back to Reedsville?
Oh, hold on to that thought.
Oh, my fault. My fault. All right.
Comments. Mr. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Lackey, Hickory Red Tornadoes. So, Mr. Lackey, I got some good news for you. Our guy Shaquan will be at the East Lincoln Hickory game.
Isn't that the fullback's last name, Lackey?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
That's his dad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your son's one hell of a player, man.
Yes, he is. I highlighted him this week. He had 5 touchdowns.
I'm at a kid his size. I knew he was athletic. I knew he was good, but he surprises me every time he's able to pull away from people.
Yeah, he's being recruited by a few good schools there. Miss Isaiah said you thought you logged into the wrong show. Wrong show. What other show is it?
Shout out
We
to
was
Miss
talking
Isaiah.
cooking. We was talking eating. She thought it was cooking show.
I don't know. Speaking of cooking, I don't know if she cooked it or got it from somewhere. But every time Miss Isaiah come by Independence, she take care of us, and the food be marvelous.
Yeah, she's a great lady. She's definitely a great
Shout out
lady.
to Josh Isaiah, man, All-American at A&T from Independence.
There it is. There it is. All right. Now, CMS Best to Last update. Top 5. Independence, Huff, Mallard Creek, West Charlotte, Butler at 5. Followed by Myers Park, Olympic, RGKL, Providence, and Palisades as your top 10. And then the right side on the screen, you have everybody else. So, the first thing before anyone says anything, I changed the name because Coach Tatum, made me realize that I need to call this a power ranking. So everybody understands that the way it's ranked is how I feel that the teams listed above you, I think would be favored to beat you. If you're below, you wouldn't be favored to beat the teams above you. So my logic is Butler last week played Weddington very well. It was 24-19 in the fourth quarter before Weddington tacked on 3 points, made the final 27-19. And they did most of that with a backup quarterback because Zach Lawrence got hurt. So in my estimation, anyone below Butler would not have had that kind of performance against Weddington. So that's how I looked at it this week. Now it's fluid and it can change, but that's what I feel like. And I'll tell you right now, Independence is number 1 because I think they're the best team and they're undefeated. I heard from some people in DMs. I ain't gonna say no names or no teams.
Nah, call them out.
We're Coach
after the show. Listen. I already know what everybody gonna say. Again, it's only one team on this schedule. Well, maybe 2 teams on this schedule that has played the toughest schedules in North Carolina. It's only 2 teams in that top 6. And one of them is number 3, and one of them is number 5. So no matter how you want to shake it, we top 3. No matter how you want to put your eggs in the basket. We don't got to be number 1, but we can be. It's still gonna be top 3.
That's right. I think the thing that stands out for me, Pep, is
Yes,
again, I'll say Butler, but I don't know in any sport, especially football, that you can have that high rank in one. You played a tough schedule, you hadn't won a game, but you had a running clock on you.
But that was week 1. That team has grown exponentially since.
Let's put that same train of thought. Let's, if we can, think outside the box on a college level. Alabama's number 1 in the nation. They get beat 60-0. You think they're going to be ranked in the top 5 the next week or anytime? I mean,
yeah, because they're Alabama.
Man, that's tough to swallow, man. When you the other teams, played good schedules and had close games. But I don't know I don't know, even in the 11 through 21, has anybody else had a running clock on them?
11 through 21?
Or anywhere.
Well,
or anybody.
We might can find a running clock over there, maybe.
I don't want to call them out.
Yeah, I'm not going to be specific. I'm not going to say anybody. You might can find a running clock. But I see what Coach Davis is saying. I get it. I do. I really do. He's saying, look, how can you be a top team if somebody put up 60 on you? I get it. I mean, I see that point.
And top teams don't have they may lose a game, but they don't have a terrible week. They might have a bad week. Don't get me wrong.
All right,
but
so
let's
put it this way: who would beat Butler below them?
I think on any given night, Myers Park could.
Well, Myers Park quarterback out for the season, so
he's out for the year. Yeah.
And we hate that. He's very.
We hate that. Yeah, prayers out to him and his family, man. Prayers out to him.
Yeah, most
definitely. Speedy recovery.
But just like they got a running clock on them, any given night, one of those teams below them can beat them.
But I think this is what people are saying, right? Okay, Mallard Creek has played a tough schedule, respectfully. Are they under? What's Mallard Creek? Are they 3-1?
They won, yeah.
2-1.
They're 2-1. Respectfully, they played a tough schedule, right? Okay. Even though Butler's played a tough schedule, they're 0-4. So now if they was 2-2 or something like that, I'm sure people would rank them differently, just like anybody else. Just because I play 4 hard teams and I lose, top 5 is where you should be based off everybody else. I'm not gonna put you number 1 or number 2 because you ain't won a game, right? And just because if we play 4 games and we go 4-0, and somebody else play 3 hard games and go 2-1, I mean 4-0, 2-1. No matter what ranking you at, nobody's gonna rank this early in the year. Somebody at this part in the year, middle of the year, nobody's gonna rank a 2-1 over a 4-0 unless 4-0 has played 18 through 21.
No, don't say nobody now.
Right. and like I'm looking here at Max Prep, Mallard Creek's strength of schedule is 45.7.
Well, yeah, that's what we're saying.
And they're 2-1. And Butler's strength of schedule is 39.7, and they're 0-4. Yeah.
So both those teams have played tough schedules, respectfully, and their outcome is whatever their outcome is. They don't really understand, guys. It don't matter what Pep Man's rankings are. You need to be worrying about what the NCHSA's ranking is. Pep rankings
don't matter.
Pep ranking ain't gonna get you in the playoffs.
No, they're not.
So, and Pep, you think Butler will make the playoffs?
Yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs for sure.
Based on this list, yeah, they will.
They're gonna finish top 3 in our conference. They're gonna make playoffs.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah, they're gonna finish top 3. Yeah, for sure.
So they got one more loss against y'all and Mallard Creek.
No, so Butler in conference would play Independence, Charlotte Catholic, Providence, East Meck, Garinger, Rocky River, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. That's it. Yeah.
Cool.
So at worst, they'd be 5-5 at best.
Yeah.
Well, no, what is it? Yeah,
They're
1-4 now.
5
and
wins
four.
will get you in, right?
So Butler is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, be 5-5, and they're 4-6
Yep.
at worst.
Yep.
Ronnie
I know
Price says
They'll get
Butler
in.
will finish 5-5.
5-5.
In the North Carolina playoff system, that should be
That'll
good
get
enough to
you
get
in.
you in.
Whee.
I think
Especially
the
with
outside.
their strength of schedule, that RPI
look,
will be strong.
Let me say this, Pep. As I know a lot of people have, they just see the records. They hadn't won a game, but as someone who's seen them up close, they weren't. I see the talent there, and there's Butler always has high expectations. There's always high, no matter who the coach is, no matter who the players are. But to the people they're just seeing the record, the talent is still there. They're in no way just a dead dog that's just gonna ride off. There's talent there. They're gonna finish the season, I assure you, a lot stronger than they started.
So what are the intangibles for them being 0-4? The people they played, or something ain't clicking right?
They just got a gel. I think you got a lot of new parts.
Yeah, because they passed the eyeball test, as you say, but something's not quite there for them to be in this predicament.
It's a number of things, and especially this year, more than I can remember, there have been big injuries that have affected a number of these teams. And that hurt them against Richmond County, which was, probably out of the 4 teams they played, the weaker team, but their starting quarterback was hurt.
Gotcha.
So, it's been that. And we've seen the last 2 games, Irmo 2 weeks ago, they took him to the wire. Who the next week blew out somebody out of South Carolina like 68-0.
A very strong non-conference schedule. And they're like Rob always says, duck and smoke. Well, they're not duck and smoke. Obviously, they're scheduling very good non-conference opponents. And to be honest, if they weren't Butler, it wouldn't even be the conversation. Wouldn't even be like it is. Everyone's just so used to them being, at the top of their game or at the top of any ranking over the years. And that's really what it is, but they're gonna get it together. We've seen the pieces there.
Yeah, that schedule may help them on the back end then, but they'll have to play a top team coming in ranked. I mean, in the first round of playoffs.
They won't be scared. That top team will be more scared than
that. That is not a 5-5 first round matchup.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, wouldn't want to play them.
All right. Now I updated county rankings, and we started with private and charter school rankings. This is the mid-season update. Providence Day still on top of that, followed by Christian. Corvian moves up to 3, then Country Day, Latin, Hickory Grove. I'll tell you, really impressed with Latin and Hickory Grove so far. I really want to see those guys against the tougher teams on their schedule that are coming up now as we get into conference play. And then the bottom half of Community School, Davidson, South Lake, Lake Norman Charter, Covenant Day, Christ the King, and then Bonnie Cone Academy. Bonnie Cone, I remember you guys. You guys fussed because I ain't put you on here. So now you're on here. They're in Huntersville. You don't know where they are. Any thoughts on private and charter school rankings in the mid-season? We'll get that out on social media so those guys can kind of chime in on that. In Cabarrus County, J.M. Robinson still at the top, followed by Northwest Cabarrus, Mount Pleasant. I saw those 2 teams play last Thursday. Northwest Cabarrus won by 2, 16-14. Good hard-hitting football. Then A.L. Brown, Cox Mill, Concord, West Cabarrus, Cannon, Hickory Ridge, and Central Cabarrus to finish it out. Thoughts on Central Cabarrus? I mean, not Central Cabarrus. Cabarrus County rankings. Been a long day.
No surprises, really. No surprises.
Yeah. I mean, the top 2 are pretty much what you would expect, to be honest with you. That was what I had coming into the season as well. All right, so we'll get that out there. In Cleveland County, we got Crest, Shelby, Kings Mountain, and Burns. I think that was the same way we had it in the beginning of the season. So, as I said, we're going to Ashbrook and Crest, so we'll be excited to see how that turns out. Any thoughts on Cleveland County?
Well, about all right.
Man,
You batting 1,000, Pip.
I'm telling you, y'all just mad about Charlotte. A new number one in Gaston County midseason, Ashbrook, followed by South Point, North Gaston, Hunter Huss, Mountain Island, East Gaston, Stuart Kramer, Bessemer City, Home Tech, Perryville, and Forestville.
I'll probably put Hunter Huss over North Gaston.
Okay, I was going back and forth on that one.
Hey, shout out to Highland Tech for not being at the bottom, man.
They're 3-0.
I would put Highland Tech over Bessemer City and Stuart Kramer.
Highland Tech, yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Highland Tech put up 70 points this year, man.
Yeah.
Do you know the school that they played?
It don't matter. I ain't thinking nobody.
It does matter.
I didn't think nobody was worse. Was that team from North Carolina?
Yes.
I didn't think it was a team worse than
Triangle Math and Science.
Hey, like I said, I played Highland Tech before. I didn't think it was the worst football team than Highland Tech in North Carolina.
Well, look, look, it'll sort it out. They play Burns this week, right?
No.
Okay.
They won't win the 2A game. They just gonna win their 1A games.
Yeah.
Try to compete, beat Bessemer City, beat Cherville, and they're in the playoffs.
That would be something.
Okay, I'm here for it.
I see you give Coach Dub some love up there.
Oh yeah, they're having a lot of injuries right now, man. Like they had 2 serious injuries the last 2 weeks where you had to call the ambulance to the field. So, yeah, I hope those guys are recovering and doing well. Stephanie Reynolds says it's very quiet without Coach. Yeah, Coach had to take care of something tonight, but he'll be back next week. Don't worry. All right. Union County, we got Weddington, Monroe, Porter Ridge as your top 3. Then Cuthbertson, Marvin Ridge, Sun Valley, Forest Hills, Metchelana Christian, Union Academy, Parkwood, and Piedmont. And I'll say, even the bottom of this list, those teams are much improved. Parkwood got into the win column. Piedmont got into the win column earlier this year. Union Academy's won a couple games. They are much improved. So this whole county, man, is really tough. It's really tough. Monroe and Porter Ridge play this week.
Yep.
That'll be a big battle that we'll talk about in a little bit. Palisades beat Cuthbertson. That was a good win for them last week also. Any other thoughts on Union County?
That's good. Does Monroe still have the athletes they used to have? They used to be one of the athletic teams around.
They got one of the best players in the nation.
Yep.
In Jordan Young.
Mm-hmm.
Who
is he committed?
No. I was getting ready to say he just delayed his decision. He pushed it back a couple of weeks. He was going to commit on his birthday, but he pushed that back.
Man.
All right. Iredell County. We got Mooresville, Statesville, Lake Norman as your top 3. Then South Iredell, West Iredell, North Iredell, Pine Lake, and then Langtree, who's only playing JV. So, thoughts on Iredell County? Pretty good football going on up there too.
Could Lake Norman, the private charter school, beat any of these schools?
Lake Norman Charter?
Yep.
Probably 6 through 8, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I would kind of fit them in.
Yeah.
Lake Norman Charter is in Huntersville, right near North Neck, actually.
Yep, right there on the other side of the lake, Mecklenburg side.
Mm-hmm. All right. Zoom, I can promise you I did not take your list. I definitely did not do that. Joe Heath on Monroe says Monroe flat out has a bunch of road runners. I enjoy watching their tape. Yeah, we saw them last year. I considered going back to see them again against Porter Ridge, but kind of decided to go to Ashbrook and Crest instead, which Ashbrook and Crest are number 1 in Gaston and then number 1 in Cleveland. So top matchup. Trayvon said like he would like to see 1 versus 2, Morrisville Statesville. Well, I think the schedule opens up after this season, so possibility. Would be a good game. Would definitely be a good game.
Yep.
All right, Stanley County. Moving on. North Stanley still at 1. They're undefeated. South Stanley at 2, Albemarle 3, and West Stanley at 4. This county is really interesting. North Stanley and West Stanley just played a triple overtime game. North Stanley was able to pull out 38-37. So literally anybody can beat anybody in Stanley County. Any other thoughts on Stanley County? All right, we'll put all those into a post on Instagram and let all you guys fight it out online. Rowan County. Almost forgot. Salisbury still at 1. I know Coach Tatum, you guys knocked them off earlier this season. And then West Rowan, Carson, North Rowan, South Rowan, and East Rowan. So little bit of this, little shakeup in Rowan County, from my perspective. Any other thoughts on Rowan County?
Coach Tatum, was Salisbury pretty good?
Yeah, they're good. I mean, they're not the Salisbury of old.
Yeah,
but they're still really good. So I definitely think they're still the top of that county. I would put North over Carson, but they don't play them, so we won't know. They've had a slow start to the season, but they came out and blew out High Point Andrews this past week. So, but I like the rankings.
Awesome, good deal.
Yep.
All right, in the comments, let's see. Joe says he got a new turtleneck for us, producer. If you never watched the show, that's been a running joke for you.
Hey, everybody gonna be there Friday, huh?
It seems like it. Seems like it for sure. Kim, yeah, I was concerned. I didn't see you in the beginning. Glad you made it.
Somebody's got background noise.
I was trying to address that.
Even the listeners say it's aggravating.
Thank you, Jason.
Where's that coming from? Well,
man.
No, it ain't me, man.
You just look like you'd have background noise.
Might be me watching some tape.
All right, fact or fiction. First of all, we'll do these together tonight. So first of all, fact or fiction. Do coaches care about rankings and predictions?
Privately, yes. Publicly, no.
Yeah, yes and no.
I think they care more about rankings. I could give a flip about predictions. But the rankings, that they are very, very important. A prediction is just what it is. They're going to predict. They can't foresee what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Why are the rankings important?
Rankings, even from a team morale, it lets you know how well you're playing. If you're that good of a team, the rankings will, like your rankings or statewide max prep, they'll let you know how good you really are. And teams who work hard want to get that pat on the back. To show other people see that they're that good of a team. And especially when you come down to playoff time, rankings can make or break you, depending on matchups based on rankings. So
time to quit.
Yeah, and I think rankings let you know how much people think about you as well. So I think that's one of the biggest things. They let you know how they feel about you, and it's always good to see your hard work you put on display.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely more. The kids love to see more of that stuff. Well, I will say on Thursdays when Simmons puts out his rankings, his ratings or whatever, We always send it back and forth, and it's more of a joke. It's more of a kind of seeing who's predicted to win because he's got his algorithm he uses and stuff like that. So it's more of a text threads thing. But no, I don't think we were like, oh man, they said we're gonna lose tonight. Nah, it's not really like that. No, I mean for us, against Salisbury and Forest Hill, we were predicted to lose, and then against North Davidson, they were predicted to win. So they work out that way either way. So I don't really care about predictions. I don't really care about predictions.
How you coaches feel about, when it rankings end of the year, everybody's fighting for that number one ranking, to hopefully play people, you're better than, of course, but isn't that important to you too, to finish the season with a high ranking?
Well, for RPI,
yeah,
100%. Like, you run to the thing on the day before the schedules come out. And you think, all right, what's the RPI? Who might we play? And you kind of looking at it. But other than that, during the season, definitely not. Towards the end,
yeah, good deal.
All right, in the comments, Coach Peavy from Corbian says, if I can get on there.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute, where did it go?
End of the year.
Acting up. There it is. Coach Peavy says he doesn't care about either. Just line it up.
That's all that really matters. Everything is going to sort itself out anyway. Everything's going to be decided on the field anyway. So,
Coach also says it's good to be the underdog. It could fire the team up. We've definitely seen that. We have definitely seen that through the years, where some teams have even printed out the predictions that we make and put them in our face at the end of a game. So yeah, we've definitely seen that. Miss Isaiah says she enjoys watching our rankings with Independence on top. Waited years. Yeah, it's funny. Josh actually commented on one of the rankings that I put out with Independence as number 1 and said they used to be number 15. And I said, well, you were a big part of changing that. So that's good stuff right there. Jason McCory says, used to worry about it, control what you can control. Yep. That's what most coaches say. There you
Who's
go.
in front of you?
All right, and then the big news across the state this week is Kendra Harrison leaving Providence Day and returning to Reedsville. Any thoughts on that move?
I'll say, shout out to the kid. Good player. Don't never want to talk negative about a kid in general. I will speak on being able to just to move back like that and play instantly. I think you have to at least make them sit a week or so. I don't think that just because it's going to it may create a problem, not for him or this team or this situation, but other teams or other kids that may feel like they can make this move, right? The kid make a move to private school and transfer back in on the Monday or Tuesday and play that Friday. I don't think that's right on any level, right? Because even it's not the NBA or the NFL where I can just pick you up NFL or NBA. Well, NFL really you get picked up. You got to go through. You got to get the drug test. You got to do all this other stuff before you just get on the field. It's not like I pick you up on Tuesday and you play Wednesday. It's a certain amount of time in between before you can play. I think they just got to put some type of rule in place before kids are just, because what's going to happen is kids will just move to a private school and just come back when stuff don't work out. I don't think it's teaching a life lesson for one, but I just don't think that you're playing next Friday. Cool. I'm sure they probably don't need them this Friday.
They've been undefeated without them.
And they play North and South. No shame on that.
If they was about to play Shelby Friday or Salisbury Friday, he'd be playing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I just don't think I think it should be some type of rule in place that makes you sit out X amount of days before you can practice or play. I don't like the thing that you can just say, hey, I don't like it, so I'm going back. And you just play automatically. You know what I'm saying? But for him, shout out to him. I think there's nothing like playing for your home school in your hometown, putting on for your community and family. So shout out to him. Me personally, I wish he never left in the first place.
So in the comments, we can talk about this. So Tim Pride says private schools are different governing body. To that point, the question I think is the NCHSAA requires 8 days, before you can participate in a scrimmage or an official game. So, with him not playing this week, he's playing next week. He would have his 8 days in. So maybe that's the reason why.
And I don't want. The thing about it, I don't want people to think that this is the first time this has happened. It's happened later in the year for some schools too. I just think this is the first big name to do so.
Right. Right.
Because it's happened plenty of times over the years. You may not look at it like that because you're talking about the magnitude of the kid. Because I think all the players say we've seen it happen before during football season in week 6, week 7, week 8. The kids may leave a school, go to another school for even if it's disciplinary reasons or family reasons and stuff like that. And they all kind of fall under the same thing. I just think it's the first time you see the magnitude of the kid or the popularity of a kid. And I think that's why it's drawing more attention to the most.
Does the state have a cutoff week when a kid can transfer and be able to play? I don't think it'd be right like late in the season, especially playoff time.
I would say I don't know because
I don't think so. I'm not officially.
I do before playoffs. I think I'd be before playoffs for sure because we had a situation at Shelby. I want to say in 2021. I want to say where we had a kid that came from Kings Mountain, started at Shelby Middle, then went to Kings Mountain for however many years, had some issues with the coaches or just in the building, and they allowed him to come to Shelby. And we didn't put him on varsity until playoffs, but he played like the last 2 games or so on JV. Then he played varsity for playoffs. So, I just think that it might have been 19. I think it might have happened in 19, and then he got because I remember he was on the state championship team in 21. But so I mean, I don't know if it's a rule as far as when you can transfer. I think it depends on the reason. I would think.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is that it's his home school. I've heard that a million times, and it's not like he's leaving Providence Day and he like, sure, I'm gonna go play for Weddington. They got a good squad. Like, so we're not like just going over there. The fact he's going back to Reedsville is the big key here.
Yep.
So I hate it that he got. I don't know if he got bad advice. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know any of that, but that's what it sounds like because he left and he's coming back. So either it wasn't what he thought or anything like that. Or he just got homesick. I don't know. But it just seems like he got maybe some bad advice. And if he did, it sucks. But I mean, the fact that he's coming back, I mean, cool. I mean, I got to see him in about 4 weeks. So
he's gonna be all right no matter where. His future's bright no matter where he's playing at. His resume that he's put up already in 2 years speaks for itself. It doesn't matter where he's playing. His future looks good in my opinion. And we as adults, we move around. We do things what's best for us. We switch jobs, so he should be allowed to do the same. He tried something out. It didn't work out, and he's gonna head back. We do it as adults. We do all the time. We might take a job and it's not what we thought, and we either go back to the job we had or go elsewhere. So we do the same thing. So people shouldn't, out there ridicule him for whatever. And he did what he thought was best for him, and now he's, going back. And nothing wrong with that. He's gonna be good either way. Sit out a game, sit out 2 games. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing for me is I would question why did Providence Day want him and they did nothing to kind of get him involved, because I was able to watch a couple of games and it's like he's only played defense really the Weddington game. You didn't really play him on defense against Charlotte Catholic at all. He played in spurts against Catholic. So my thing was, I think all of us can say as coaches, right? If we bring in a high-level player like that, we're making him some type of focal point on one side of the ball. Like, I'm sure Coach Davis is not going to bring a kid on his basketball team that scores 40 a game to tell him he's only going to play 4 minutes a game. Because what's the point of you bringing him?
Exactly.
Right? So if the kid is that dynamic and he came for a reason, obviously whatever you talked to him about, he had to feel like it was better than where he was at for the time being. Yep. And I think they kind of did him a disservice if you're not going to implement him or use him as the way that you could to your ability. Obviously, a school like Providence Day, you have a lot of different talent in different positions, a lot of high major players. So I would just question the scheme of like, why didn't you really do more to get them involved while you had them?
When I was at West Charlotte with Coach Knox, we got to transfer in, play both sides of the ball. And the dad asked Coach Knox, now you going to play him, right? Coach Knox' exact words said, we're going to ride him like a mule on both sides of the ball. Bro. We're going to ride him like a mule. You know how Coach Knox had a little twang, southern twang. We're going to ride him like a mule, both sides of the ball. I'm like we're not going to set him. He's not going to take, I mean, you give him a break every now and then, but he's a focal point. He's that good on both sides of the ball. He can make a difference on both sides of the ball. And I think family, friends, when you grow up in a small town, that's is really, really important to you. Guys you grew up with all your life, from kindergarten, even before that, to now where he was, and teammates, coaches, family, community. He probably missed a lot of those things coming from a small town. I see somebody put in the chats about the food in the cafeteria ain't the same in Providence that it was in Reedsville. Probably no seasoning.
That is Joe Hughes.
I think his mom was down here with him though. But I think people underestimate. I think people underestimate the small town feel of what it gives a high school player, especially playing and being that big time where you're from, because from just knowing about him, I mean, he's traveled all over the country for football or basketball. And I think the part that people may miss out on is no matter what success I have on the road, I'm always getting to come back home. And it kind of makes things surreal or put things in perspective for me when I'm making plays and stuff like that, because I'm coming back home to Reedsville like how he was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot of different factors in play. Like I say, man, I wish nothing but the best for the kid. And I would just make sure for anybody involved in the future that may have opportunities like this, just don't underestimate where you come from and what impact it may have on you and the community.
And now think about it. He left a winning team. They were winning, basketball and football. It's not like he could say, we suck and I'm going to go to Providence Day and we're going to start winning. They were winning and he left. So he probably missed a lot of that too. When you win games and championships, state championships with the guys you grew up with, man, you want to stay with them as long as you can, And I'm glad he went back, to be honest with you. Kid made a bright decision. He tested the grass on the other side, and he's going back home, which is always a good thing when you go home.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff in the comments. Man, let's see here. I don't know where to start. Coach Torrance says only way he can play is going into his home school. If he tried to go to a public school other than his home school, he would have been 365. Bona fide move. He's eligible before the playoffs. So, good stuff right there. Dana Bullock says curriculum very different at private school. We didn't really think about the academic side of things. That could be a factor too, for sure. I know Providence Day is a very rigorous academic school.
Yeah. Yep.
Karen Belk says they're celebrating in Reedsville. Of course they are. Who wouldn't? And then Joe also chiming in, teenage years only come around once.
Yeah.
Glad he's doing what he must to maximize that experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaks to the small town stuff you were talking about there, Coach.
Yeah.
And then Joe also said, this is for Webb here, once I find it. Where'd it go? Wings, etc. wanted to reach out to Webb. For those that don't know, Wings, etc. was a slime on the show last year for charging for wing sauce.
You won't see me go back there.
Man, I ain't been to Wings except since I went to Garner Webb, man. That's history.
Hey, Tatum, you'll love to hear my story. I'll tell you off camera.
All right.
Yeah, that's a funny story, boy. All right, let's move on. Week 5 game previews. First, we'll talk about Ashbrook and Crest. This is the game me and producer and apparently Big Eye Shelby will be at. So, both of these teams are doing well to start the season. Have them ranked as both the number 1 team in Gaston County and the number 1 team in Cleveland County. Ashbrook, when you talk about them, their defense has been very impressive to start the season. And then for Crest, they've kind of been excelling all around. They've been getting what they need offensively. Aiden Carson has been a big part of that. Running back has done some things in the passing game as well. And their defense is much improved from last season where, they were in a lot of shootouts. So thoughts on this good matchup right here?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my guy, Coach James, head coach at Ashbrook, and defensive coordinator, Coach Zeke Bigger, and my guy, Justin Bowden, the O-line coach at Ashbrook. And I believe my guy, Keith Brooks, is over there, too. I want to say this will be a statement game for Ashbrook. I think Ashbrook's been knocking at the door the last couple of years, trying to get things right on offense, trying to get things right on defense. And I think, they had some good games this year. That's showing them a lot about their team, their program. I think this is going to be a great test. I went on record to say before the season started, Pep, I said this was my pick to win their conference. And I think they take care of business Friday. It'd be off to a great start, right? And I think that going into Crest, what more would you want to know about your team, first conference game going on the road and you going against Crest, right? Yeah. I think this group of seniors at Ashbrook have helped build a foundation, and the guys that's in now, I think they got the coaches where they want them. The defense is flying around, forcing turnovers, and I think this will be a good game, man. I think on the other side of Crest, I think Crest put a lot of people on notice last week playing Charlotte Catholic and beating them. Yeah. I think Crest, the offense is starting to pick up. They got a lot of different weapons. I will say they're using all their weapons every game. You'll see a multitude of guys get the ball, whether it's at running back or receiver. That defense is stout, running that 3-high look that confuses a lot of people. I think those kids at Crest, those guys are bought in to what's going on with Coach Lloyd. Coach Lloyd being a Crest guy, I think he's going to have those guys ready to go. And playing that first game at home, I think this is going to be a big game, man. It's a very big game for Ashbrook as well as Crest. Because Crest, you can't look at it. People may look at Crest and say this may be a trap game because you just took care of Catholic and you don't want them to get too high about that win. And I know the coaches over there at Crest, I know they look at every team as just another game because of who they feel like they are. So I think this will be a good one, man. I mean, I like Ashbrook.
Joe Hughes says, can Ashbrook run the football? Sounds simple, but that is the key. Also, how will Ashbrook react to the eye candy Coach Greg Lloyd is sure to show them?
I think Chris, playing at home, big game. Chris has big game experience. Not sure how much Ashbrook has had in the past or even this year, but Chris already has that big game experience, and playing at home means a lot in a game like this. When you're probably even matched at a lot of positions, ex-coaching comes into play now. You can put the athletes on the field, maybe evenly matched, but coaching is going to come into play. And I think a case like this, home field they play a big part too with Ashbrook.
Yeah, so I think you made a great point with the big game. I think that's the challenge for Ashbrook and his coaches and players is that if any adversity hits, can those kids stay poised and stay in the moment and just play the next play, right? Because like you say, Crest is no stranger to big games. Ashbrook's staff is no stranger to big games. However, it made it to be one of the bigger games for the kids. And most importantly, the coaches can't play for the kids, so they got to do their best job to get them ready mentally as much as they are physically. And I think those coaches are going to do that.
Yeah. Joe's kind of got a counterpoint to that and saying this is Crest's 4th emotional game in a row. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
I'm just
I
glad to
think
even go. I've not all these years I've been there. I always hear about Crest, the traditions, the championships, and surprisingly never been. So I'm just glad to even just go and finally go there for a change and see the atmosphere.
Good.
yeah,
Good.
I think Ashbrook's. I think they're going to be up for the challenge. I think they're kind of feeding off some doubters out there that don't think that they're legitimate. Even though I think they've beaten some good teams. I think that's going to really fuel them. And this is they're viewing this, like you said, Big Guy. This is a big test for them. It could be a possible. It's early, but it's a possible conference championship game. To be honest with you, Joe's also adding that there's also 2 North Carolina targets in Devarius Surratt, the DB for Crest, and then Caleb Gordon, the linebacker from Ashbrook, who just picked up a North Carolina offer at us, and I think he got a Liberty offer the same day last week. So definitely some talent on both sides, in that big game. All right, another big game. This is a heck of a game last year. Mallard Creek is going on the road to take on West Charlotte, 2 teams that have been playing very well. Of course, Mallard Creek coming off the big win in Ohio, and then West Charlotte is coming off a bye week, but 2 weeks ago they knocked off Cox Mill, and me and the producer saw them in person. West Charlotte's got a lot of speed, a lot of weapons. Offensively, they got the young quarterback, sophomore Jamori Nichols, who's playing really well. For Mallard Creek, their defense, I think, is really fueling them. They got Zion Burden and Zykeir Stripling on the defensive line that have been making some impact plays. And then their secondary is very talented, led by Brandon Rose at the safety spot. Thoughts on Mallard Creek and West Charlotte?
Well, I think Mallard Creek is one of the hottest teams in Charlotte right now with the teams they have been able to beat the last couple of weeks. I think this game is one of those games I think is always an emotional game, a rivalry game. I think last year everybody thought West Charlotte was going to lose, and they was able to beat Mallard Creek at Mallard Creek. So this year I think Mallard Creek is set out on the mission. I think they found their quarterback. I think they're able to get some things clicking. But there's going to be a lot of athletes on the field, man. I think whoever wins the emotional side of this ball game is going to win the game.
I like that. And I'm glad you mentioned the quarterback because and I shouted him out in Pep Man's players. Perry Justice was the backup quarterback from Mallard Creek, came in overtime and threw the game-winning touchdown pass. And I mean, when that happens, I mean, I think you got to start him. I think you got to start him. I mean, that's just me talking. I don't know, but I think you have to make a change there, for sure, man. Yeah.
I think one underrated aspect of this game is Petman's rankings. So West Charlotte being bumped down, man. How Grinder's gonna have that in the locker room. It's gonna be fuel the fire, man. It's gonna be a big game.
Oh, he'll be very happy that I moved him down. He'll be very happy about that. Oh man, remind me to talk to you guys about something after the show too.
I think Mallard Creek physically has a probably upper hand. I know West Charlotte's skill positions are very talented and quick and fast, but
yes,
Mallard Creek's battle tested this year, man. I think they've seen it all, so to speak. And I think last year's loss at home, it may be one of those payback games. I know as a coach, I'd bring it up. So I'd give a little edge to the Creek boys on this one.
Yeah, I mean, 40 seniors in that program. Yeah, I know that's fresh in their minds this month. Because we were there last year, and when that game ended, boy. And the way it ended too. So for you guys that don't know, literally Mallard Creek was on the 1 yard line, and it was 4th down. And West Charlotte had a goal line stand to keep them out.
God.
So that was a super emotional game. Everybody was talking about it. To lose that way, yeah. I know this is gonna be a super game where everyone's fired up. Miss Cotton says, coaching, calling the correct plays at the right time. Both teams are super skilled. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that.
Man, I'm on Pep. Can I ask the young coach or something? Man, one of my train of thoughts as a coach, whether it be working with the wide receivers and quarterbacks and DBs, or even as a basketball coach, I knew my ability as a coach, and I couldn't be rattled. I think sometimes we give, I don't mean this in a bad way, we give some coaches too much credit. She's exactly right. Play calling, defensive calls, things like that come to play. Some coaches have freezes in a big games. Everything is all right when you're up 32-0 and things are going good. Your play calling's clicking. But what about those times it's not clicking? What about those times when your defensive calls are not clicking? Some coaches will, shell up. You know what I mean?
Well,
put their head in the shell. But I know we were very big back when I was coaching about we knew in our mind mentally, one, that guy's not going to out-coach me because he can't. And when you work with guys like Tommy Knox, Scott Stein, Rudy Abrams, and these guys, they knew they weren't going to get out-coached offensively, defensively, and even as a head coach. Do you guys, you don't have to call no names, but do you guys see that when you're across the sideline from somebody? Not a talent thing on the field, but just coaching. You know you were that much better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. I did. I'm just being honest.
At the end of the day, everything's a competition, especially in athletics. It's competition.
Yeah.
So you're going to look across and be like, I know my scheme. I know my players. I know my culture better than they do. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But you got to go in the game, having played the game in your head throughout the week 100 times.
Good deal.
And things come up, have an answer for them. And at the end of the day, have a base call that that's what you're, especially an offensive guy. I know I have my base runs, I have my base pass plays that we could do anyway, anytime, with our eyes closed. That's what you got to go back to. Same thing I'm doing defensively. You know what your base is, you know what you're good at, you know what you're, at the end of the day, you know what you can call to get a stop. You got to have those things and be confident in calling.
Yep. I know as a wide receiver coach, my thing was I wasn't worried about another coach across from me because I was confident in my guys and how they were prepared. No matter what a secondary call would be against us, I knew my receivers were going to take care of business. So I was that. You can call me cocky if you want to, but I knew my guys were so prepared, it wouldn't make a difference what they do.
Good stuff. Coach Tatum, I think you're going to be a head coach in the future.
I'm just trying to go 1-0 this week.
There you go.
Yeah, then Coach Davis, I think too, with the fact of thinking that you won't get out coached, I think that's just a testament to the work that you see you and your staff put in every week, right? I think the only way, I think the biggest thing about people to look at it and say, "Oh, well, I know I can't get out coached." That's because you're confident in the work and the time and the hours you don't put in. Because once you start playing a lot of these teams, y'all know each other's coaching staff. You know what they're doing in their free time. So you can know, like, I know how much time he spent on his craft, but I'm always working to spend more time on my craft. So I think it's never, I don't think it's cocky. I think it's more so confidence, and I know how much time I put in with my work and my kids versus how much time you put in.
Without a doubt. Preparation.
I like what Karen Belt said right there. She's talking about noticing any coaches working on hard on the sidelines. Like we make in-game adjustments is where games are won and lost, like 100%. And if a defense comes out and something, not be different, but it's like, look, we've seen on film. I'll be on the sideline with the marker on the board showing my guys up front. Hey, we saw this on film. We went over this in practice. Remember we talked about this? Oh yeah, coach, we got it. You move on. Like you show them the different adjustments. So going into it, hey, I just got to remind them some things, and we're good to go.
Shout out to Karen Bell, man. She knows the best staff in the state, man.
And you know what, too, coaches, you guys know this too. The best coaches make the in-game changes. They make the adjustments in-game. Those are the best coaches, who can say, okay, they're doing this. Let's make an adjustment. Let's tweak that. Or what gap, what guard is what he's going to do on this play. Let's tweak something. In-game adjustments go a long way. And also, I want to say this real quickly. Coaches, it's about the whole staff being working hard as the next guy. If you got one weak link on your staff, that can cost you a game or a championship. Everybody's going to work as hard as the next guy. You can't have a weak link when you're coaching.
All right, y'all don't call out your weak links. Let's move on to the next.
Yeah.
We got Monroe taking on Porter Ridge. Both of these teams are undefeated, and this is going to be a really good matchup. Me and producer were at this game last year. Porter Ridge actually jumped out 14-0 last year on Monroe, and Monroe settled down and ended up winning the game. I believe it was 28-21, I believe, is how that one ended up last year. So, thoughts on this game? This is going to be a good one, I think.
I think it's a bounce back game for Porter Ridge, and playing at home. But like I said, Monroe has been so athletic, man. That's a toss-up for me.
I think the interesting thing is when you look at who the teams have played, Monroe, it's unfortunate they couldn't get the game in with West Charlotte, because I think that game would have told us a lot about where they stood. And Porter Ridge, they've kind of played some lower tiered teams too. So in some respects, this is the first challenge for each other that they faced this season. So Porter Ridge only had 4 starters returning from last year's team. So for them to get out to this strong start, has been really impressive. But Monroe has the senior quarterback in Kagan Chambers. We mentioned Jordan Young earlier. Zion Bus Lindsay plays some running back and linebacker. I think when you start looking at, talent for talent, you might think Monroe has the high-end talent edge, but when you look at depth, Monroe is still a 2A team. And if Porter Ridge can make it a real tough 4-quarter game, I think we're going to have a heck of a football game here. Yeah. Porter Ridge has some really good talent in Ryshawn Elmore, who just picked up an offer from Coastal Carolina. And then we had the young man beginning to show, Mekhi Hernandez, the defensive end, as a freshman, who's playing very well. So it's going to be a really, really fun game to watch for sure. I'll be really watching the updates on that one.
Yeah, I'll go with Porter Ridge then.
Did I convince you that fast?
You told me that. Yeah.
I don't want you to think that Monroe is your typical 2A team. I don't know how many of those guys go both ways outside of the athlete. I think it's Jordan Young that's at Monroe.
Yeah.
But don't think, both I think Porter Ridge's tight end I think he might be hurt. If I'm not mistaken. But don't think, because Monroe is 2A, you just never know if those guys are going both ways. So, I think Monroe got the athletes to compete with anybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Some people just make a big deal because Porter Ridge is 4A, Monroe's 2A. They try to make that a big thing. But to your point, the talent, I think, is, similar on both sides. And then the last game here, we got Providence taking on Charlotte Catholic. Last year, this was a game. Charlotte Catholic, I believe, won this game 29-22. So it was a good competitive game last year. This year, Catholic is coming off the tough loss to Crest, and then Providence last week had a bye week, so they had 2 weeks to get ready for Charlotte Catholic. So Providence has a really talented quarterback in Jackson DB, who I think is a Division I prospect. And then Charlotte Catholic, of course, has, the vaunted wing T offense led by a good quarterback in Charlie Smith. Thoughts on Providence and Catholic here?
I'm thinking Catholic, especially coming off a Crest loss. Losses are bad, but all losses are bad. But a Crest loss, I think they're going to carry this over to this game, and playing at home too. I'm going with Catholic.
Okay.
Definitely a contrast in play styles. So definitely either or.
Yeah, but the ball control by Catholic can keep that quarterback off the field. And
that's the big thing, I think, when you start looking at this one. To your point, Coach Tatum, Providence does run a spread offense, and they have some good receivers. Otavia Oliveira probably being the most heralded slot receiver, who's a sophomore this year. He picked up offers last year as a freshman. Can Providence get Charlotte Catholic's offense off the field? Can they stop the run well enough? That's the big question that I have here.
Yep.
I think Charlotte Catholic has enough defense on the back end to slow Providence down. And every time we think about Charlotte Catholic and throwing the football, we always think that they have enough speed, but I think their defensive line will get enough pressure on the quarterback. They got a good defensive end in Dominic Bazrala. I hope I said his name right. Among his offers, he's got a Wake Forest offer, so he's a talented young man. I think those are the two keys. Can Providence protect and throw the football enough, and can they stop the run enough of Charlotte Catholic to get them off the field and stay in the football game?
Yep.
So,
agree.
And we talk about coaching. That's a good chess match game right there. To Coach Tatum's point, contrasting styles, they are literally 180 from each other. All right.
Now, hey, Pep, shameless plug. Before the listeners start, maybe tune out, we're going to be taping a show tomorrow. We're interviewing Deanna Ford, Trent Simpson's mom, from Mallard Creek. Trent's now with the Baltimore Ravens, of course, through Clemson. But me and Pep are going to interview her tomorrow to talk about some of the trials and tribulations and the good and the bad of raising a kid, to go on to be an NFL player. She's going to talk about some positive things that parents can do when it comes to raising a kid who's really into football in this way. Talk about his days at Mallard Creek. So if any of you have a question who are listening now, go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll bring it over to her tomorrow because we're going to tape the show and then put it out on social media later. But if you have any questions you'd like to ask Dee about, raising a kid, for an NFL or high school or college, let us know now.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that reset right there. That's good stuff, man. All right. And Coach Tatum, I saw your message. Yes, sir. Week 5 game predictions coming down the line. First of all, we are starting out with Statesville at North Lincoln. This post show's chat is gonna be hilarious. Anyway, Statesville at North Lincoln. We'll start at the bottom. Producer.
North Lincoln.
All right, Coach Tatum.
I'm gonna go Statesville. Talk about another contrast of styles right here.
Big Eye.
I'm gonna go Statesville, man. My dog, Coach Cowan.
All right, Coach Davis.
Statesville. Greyhounds.
Yeah, contrasting styles. North Lincoln has been running the heck out of the football. I'm gonna go North Lincoln on this one. I'm gonna go North Lincoln. All right, West Meckett Chambers. This is a old what is that conference? Queen City conference match. I'll go first. Man, I was impressed last week with Chambers. I'm gonna go with Chambers. Coach Davis.
I think Chambers picking up their mojo. I think it's finally clicking for them. I'm going with Chambers.
All right, Big Eye.
I'm gonna go with Chambers in this one.
All right, Coach Tatum.
Chambers.
All right, Producer.
We'll go Chambers also.
Clean sweep for the Cougars. Oh boy. All right, South Iredale at West Cabarrus. We'll start in the middle. Big Eye.
I'm gonna go West Cabarrus.
West Cabarrus. All right, Coach Tatum.
I'm going with my boy, Coach Henson. I'm gonna go West Cabarrus.
West Cabarrus. All right, Producer.
I'm gonna go West Cabarrus also.
I'll be the contrarian. I'll take South Iredale. Coach Davis.
I have to go with the home team, West Cabarrus.
Oh, no, I'm on the island. Come on, South Iredale. Let's go. All right, this one was for Coach Dub. Patriots at Jets, NFL matchup. Jets, Jets is my pick. Coach Davis.
Jets.
Big Eye.
I'll go with the Jets.
Coach Tatum.
I'm gonna go with the Jets, but I bet it's a close game. The Patriots has got some kind of mojo over the Jets, and we'll see how it goes with Jets.
All right, producer.
You said this was for Coach Doug, right? He's a Patriots fan, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jets.
We'll make sure to send that to him.
There you go. There you go.
All right, and finishing up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles going down to take on the New Orleans Saints. Big Eye.
Come on, baby. Eagles. Eagles.
Coach Tatum.
I'm gonna go Saints, man. I don't think the Saints punted in 2 games.
And you're right. Producer.
Let's see. Cheesesteak versus gumbo. I'm gonna go Saints, man. They look really impressive so far. I got a first-hand look at that week 1, so Saints it is.
Let's not mention that. I'm gonna go with the Saints as well. Coach Davis.
Man, Eagles scared me the other day, man. They showed some cracks in the armor, man. That ain't good. I think the Saints take advantage of them at home.
That's right. That's right, Big Eye. Yeah, they take advantage.
You know it's bad when the Panthers fans are rooting for the Saints. Just
yeah, well, now. Look, we ain't gonna be talking about this.
Hey, man, right? That sounds like fandom right there.
That's what I'm saying. Panthers need to worry about their own guys. Don't worry, they get slimed.
No, they're not.
Oh, don't put that camera on me then.
No, we won't. Jason, we just having fun this year, man.
Hey, he don't want to
doing it for the fans.
Hey, he must be losing in the standings. That's
why. We're not keeping them. We're not keeping them. These are for the fans.
We need somebody to watch every week and do it for us. That would be like you just said it to Pip.
Where the chat administrator at?
I don't know. He was here earlier.
Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, I need to get him because I do a prediction with him every week, and I'm not doing well in that either. So man, it ain't a good year in predictions. Tim Pryor has a bonus game for us. East Lincoln and Hickory. Y'all want to do that one?
Oh, Hickory.
Anyone picking East Lincoln?
Hickory.
Clean sweep for Hickory. There you go, Tim. That game is at East Lincoln, though. It is
okay. It won't matter.
Hickory.
J-Man, J-Man, I'm going to get J-Man on y'all, man. I'll keep talking about the Panthers now.
Hey, I think Mooresville will beat the Panthers.
You know what?
Hey, my team's 0-2 as well, so I'm in the misery with y'all, man.
Hey, Adam, Coach Adam, where would you put the Panthers in the Mecklenburg County rankings, high school rankings?
Somewhere in between.
Exactly.
We ain't talking
right there. Right there.
That's where we put them. Off this screen. That's where we put them. How about that? Yeah, how about that?
Right. That's where you go. Told him. He always run his mouth. Eagles ain't never played a game in Shelby.
Oh man, what we got left? Oh yeah, Friday night. Oh man, thing off the screen. I'm messing up. Y'all throwing me off the game and trying to talk about the Panthers. We ain't talking about the Panthers on this show. Friday Night Live, every night, 11:45, these same outlets. It's your show. We talk about what you post. And then we got scores, commentary, interviews, and more. Make sure you come out and join us on Friday Night Live. All right, we'll bring back Coach Davis.
Sorry about that. I didn't know. I didn't know it was a 10th spot.
It's okay. You had it's peer pressure and it's bad influence. So
yeah, you like that kid that got caught up with you like that. You just started at a new school and you got caught up with their bad kids.
Yeah.
Now you in ISS. You in ISS, man.
ISS.
Yeah.
ISS. That's right.
Oh man. All right. There your timeout's over. All right, it's slime time. Big Eye, go ahead. Who you want to slime?
Hey man, I want to slime the Carolina Panthers organization.
All right, thank you. Producer, who you want to slime tonight?
I'm gonna slime a little small team, small school. They're in Florida. You might have heard of them. They call themselves the Florida State Seminoles. And you would think that being a Florida State fan, they would show me some consideration. Like, I'm already dealing with the Panthers. So you would think, oh, he's already dealing with the Panthers. Maybe we could play good and give him a bright spot on Saturday since he ain't got much to look forward on Sundays. Nope. Nope. They said, look, we're gonna do the same thing. And honestly, it's sad to say, I see some similarities. If you watch the Panthers so far this year and Florida State, they almost look very similar in their production, man. And Florida State just has too much talent, countless 4- and 5-star recruits. There's no excuse. You get some teams out there, they're just outmatched. Just they run up a team that's just more talented and just got more talent. And I don't really believe that. Maybe it's youth, I don't know, but they're not playing to their potential, man. So I gotta slime the Seminoles, man. You got all the talent, you got the facilities, you got NIL, you got everything. There's no excuse to be playing like they are. So gotta slime them.
That's fair. That's fair. Coach Davis, who you want to slime this week?
Man, I'm gonna slime Jay-Z, man. New Orleans Super Bowl this year. You got to have Cash Money. You got to have Master P. You got to have No Limit Soldiers. Lil Wayne, Juvie. You got to have those guys during halftime, man. They're a little bit more mainstream than, say, a Kendrick Lamar, who's great, by the way. But just the setting, New Orleans, how great would that be? And plus, I mean, if you want to be honest, how many people can name at least, from a mainstream perspective, 3 Kendrick Lamar songs, that kind of bothered me. I don't know if it's a slight on Lil Wayne and Cash Money and Birdman, but man, I would go with the flow and put the New Orleans crowd, the New Orleans crews in that Super Bowl halftime and not Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. We need more music slimes on the show.
That bothers me, man.
It's usually wings and football.
Coach Tatum, what you want to slime this week?
I'm gonna slime drivers on the road that want to ride you really close when bad weather. And we've had some bad weather in North Carolina the last couple of days, and I know it's specifically Tuesday, coming back home, it was raining really hard, and I can only go as fast as people in front of me, and I know how to drive, and everybody else knows how to drive, so I'm trying to be cautious, and I got people trying to run me off the road. And then this morning, trying to go to work, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's foggy. I don't know how it was in Charlotte, but here in Winston, it was extremely foggy, and you can't see that much, and I got people in front of me. People just riding, so close. And I'm like, man, just back off. We all trying to get to work safely. It is what it is. So it's dark. You don't know deer running around, all that stuff. So just back off a little bit. If you need it, if you're late for work, get up and try to go a little earlier. So, but people just don't know how to drive and ride your bumper.
Yep.
That can be a weekly slime. It is terrible. I've been late going places the last 2 days. Different parts of the city too. Like one downtown, one in University. It's traffic accidents from people that don't know how to drive. I'm with you, Coach. My slime simply tonight is on politics. I don't care what side of the spectrum you on. This is the worst time of year. Every 4 years we have this presidential election, and we get slammed with some of the most ridiculous calls and texts, sound bites, whatever, man. I am so tired of politics. It makes me sick to my stomach, man. That's what I got to say. Let's see. J-Man wants to slime the Kansas City Chiefs. They pray they lose every week. Good gracious.
Wow. I'm with that.
Man, I guess you ain't taking me in fantasy, huh?
Hey, can I give a half a slime? I got half a slime.
Well, let me get this out from Karen Bell. She's got our facility update. Says South Lake facilities are much better than Charlotte Christian. Concessions and restrooms on the visitor side. Slamming the announcer who only knew the South Neck player name. Well, there you go. Well, Karen, I'm glad you had a better experience this week. Anytime you go to a away game, I will put your review up there. So you can be our review correspondent for stadiums.
There you go.
I like it.
Absolutely. All right, Coach Davis, what's your half slime?
Man, my half slime is the mismanagement of the Carolina Panthers by Tepper.
All right, everybody had a good night, and we'll see you next week. Appreciate it.
Good night.
We're not having that on this show. Not having it no